So let's talk about, in a world of AI, what are the skills that survive? And like, what are the professions that you believe survive? If you've got children, Daniel, when they come to you and they say, Dad, I'm hearing about all this AI stuff and I've seen these robots in China doing backflips. What should I be learning now to make sure that the next 20, 30, 40 years of my career is prosperous?
It's the entrepreneurial skill set that is the most important skill set. It is essentially the skills of identifying an opportunity, prototyping fast and cheap experiments to see if you've got something that people want, taking it to market, making your initial sales, scaling up to your addressable market, and then exiting and then coming up with a new idea. Because even if you're in a big corporate, they're going to want to prototype things, they're going to want to spin out new products, they're going to want to come up with new initiatives, and we need to step through that process of, is this a good idea or not? Can we validate it? Can we scale it? Right? And you want to go through that process as fast and as cheap as possible, the way an entrepreneur would.
And on that first point of identifying a good idea, now, is there any way to know if the idea that I have is a good idea or a bad idea?
Yeah, this is a step that entrepreneurs call validation. And the rookie entrepreneurs that fail, they don't do this step very well, right? So they don't do market validation. They don't do product validation. They simply get excited about an idea and then they go all in on the idea. And what really experienced entrepreneurs do is that we come up with ways to do fast, cheap experiments. So for example, last year I had 2 ideas and I actually kind of liked one a lot and I liked one a little bit. And what I did is I set up a waiting list campaign and I basically invited people to join the waiting list for idea number 1. And about 750 people joined that waiting list. And they filled in a set of questions so that I knew that 750 people were interested in this idea. This was my favorite idea. And then the second idea, I invited people to join that waiting list. And 4,500 people joined that waiting list. So even though this wasn't my favorite idea, it was way more exciting for people and it was sitting on top of a much bigger need. So off the back of collecting 4,500 people on the waiting list and collecting all the data and the information, we went to some angel investors about a week later after doing that, and we raised £250,000, so about $300,000 or $400,000. And all of that took about a week or 2.
With that example, how do you know that the business itself and the delivery of that idea actually meets their expectation? Because I can think of multiple examples where someone clicked on an idea that I had, but actually the delivery of that idea fell short of expectation. Because sometimes things can sound good when you see the flyer or the poster or the advert, but the reality of the experience is actually not that great.
So let me walk you through the 6 steps quickly. Step 1 is called Founder Opportunity Fit. And Founder Opportunity Fit is finding something that you want to do. Step 2 is validation, right? So this is where we actually try and see, is there a market? Could we build something? Could we sell something, right? So that's 2 validation. Can we build it? Can we sell it? Step 3 is called Product Market Fit. And this is the next step where you're actually trying to figure out, can we actually make this live up to people's expectations so that they really like it? Is there a group of people who buy this and they're happy with the purchase? And we want to do that carefully and cheaply. And then finally, once people say, or the next step, once people say, yes, we can do that, we go to market. And go to market is making sales. And then after going to market, we scale up, right? Step 5. And then the final step is we exit. So we go through those 6 steps and we call that a value creation loop. And that value creation loop goes through those 6 steps and each step has its own little job. And what we're trying to do is just validate, go to the next step. Achieve the milestones, go to the next step. And that's how we do it as entrepreneurs.